Even though they call this week is truly the start of the week, it's Sunday, Monday, and what better way to start the week out than with the prime time week of why we have the top power itself. He's never mysterious Andrew Williams would never know up here. We're sitting around in the top spot, and all in the place.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy 24/7 here with my partners in crime, the Primetime Kings. Got my boy Baron Norman Tag, New Bomb Turk, and hopefully we'll be joined here shortly by Vigilante Williamson. So before we get started, how you gentlemen doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Oh,
Boy, I'm just taking a look at what's underneath there of New Bomb Turk's name. Ever seen an issue of cartoons? I have not seen one of those in ages.
I used to love them.
Oh,
It was the perfect blend of comic book and car interests.
mm-hmm.
What was,
I can't remember when I saw the last one, but it's been a long time.
Oh, I think they've been out of print for late 80s, probably.
Yeah, I think that's about
early 90s. Yeah, but they had some really big name, like it. Not like Marvel, DC level of names when it comes to art, but like within the car community, there's certain artists that, like, if you mention their name, like Big Daddy Ed Roth, and Trosley was another one. Trosley was an interesting one because he did cartoons, which was geared towards children, and then he also did single panel entries for Hustler.
Yeah.
oh wow, damn.
And you know what?
And he has a very distinct art style. So as soon as you see it, you're like, "Oh, that's Trosley."
Yeah, you know his artwork, and you know what? It looks like it's back again.
It actually in print or reprints?
Let's take a look here. Celebrate the immortal spirit of car culture. Want to learn more about automotive culture? Cartoons is a bi-monthly automotive humor comic book packed with amazing automotive related stories that are kid friendly.
Wow.
And it looks like it might be new. I don't know. They say limited edition first issue. Order it here. Each 3D issue comes with a pair of glasses. Let's see. Where's the about? Where's the about? Where FAQ? We'll go with FAQ. How's that sound? This is okay. Subscription, back issues. They don't say anything. It's all, that one has all sorts of stuff that about. Okay, the artists: Dave Beatty, Fred Boatman, Meyer Cooper, Dan Falconer, Bob Seaharden, Chuck Kelly, Joe. Forgive me if I get this name wrong. Creechy, Errol McCarthy. Of course, we're talking about Big Daddy himself. He's in there. Marcus Mitchell, Cat Ruins, John Skidmore, Jeff Sleemans, Jason Sylvester, Paul Townsend, George Trosley, Mr. Bill, Larry Williams, and Mike Yaps. Those are all the people that are in there that are doing this issue. My guess is I don't see anything about where to buy. I mean, they got where to buy. I'm assuming that this is coming back out brand new in its magazines.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah, so you can get back and all that. So this is hard copy stuff, folks. Physical media. So
Cool.
yeah,
Well.
it's cartoonsmags.com. Not to I guess I did some free advertising there for them, but since you brought it up,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
take
all
a
good.
look. But so hopefully, it looks like they're just starting up again. So it's brand new.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I'm glad you told us about that. Man, I've seen that I think once. I like not even looked through it. Like I remember looking at a cover, but I've never opened it up. I've never read one. So, and I remember that from when I was a kid, and but then there's a lot of things that aren't out anymore. So, or probably got bought out by somebody else, and then now somebody that was actually a fan decided, hey, let's put this back out and try to get it back to its old glory.
It didn't work for National Lampoon.
Right. Or,
the thing with National Lampoon is when you take out the original two creators, there's nothing left. Like those two were National Lampoon. Their staff was kind of a rotating group of people, but they were always the two constants. And you take especially the guy that died, the one that did the movie about.
Yeah.
Like once he was gone, that was the end of it. There was nothing there.
And and of course some of the writers are gone too. I mean, PJR Work is no longer with us. I hate when I get the memory blocks on the guy who did the boy, I'm really having a good time here. My brain is just because everything just went to Brat Pack. He did all those Brat Pack films, writer, director. He wasn't there when I was part of them. He's not with us no more. So I mean, we don't have a lot of those people that paved the way for that magazine. And who was it from Animal House that actually bought it, trying to revive it back in the '90s or so? And it basically was a game. It was.
I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head because I know the movie never really touched on it because once they basically take it up to his death and that's it. It was one of the actors from Animal House.
Yeah, Tim Matheson bought it, like in the going back in the like in the '90s and such. But it was way too tame. They couldn't do what they normally did.
Oh no! I mean that was even racy for the time frame that it came out in.
Yeah, it was like
really pushing the edge.
Yeah, it was Mad Magazine for that college adult humor set,
Yeah, I always thought it was funny because as a kid, when I seen National Lampoon, especially in the store or whatever, Mom was off shopping, and I'm gonna go look at the magazines, and I'd stop, grab the National Lampoon, and look through to see if they had one of the live action still panels where they always put a naked female in.
Yep, there was always you had at least one or two of those little like cartoons, but using the pictures, and you saw boobies.
Right.
Boobies.
Oh yeah, shit.
Oh, yeah. there was some fur sometimes.
Not
much more than that though.
Yeah, sometimes. The big rule was though, no penises.
Right. So the guys always sat squash-legged.
Oh yeah.
Whatever, yeah. So that was the rule at National Lampoon: no penises, but everything else goes.
Right.
Oh shit, that's crazy. Hey, I tell you what. Before we get started, I'd like to say what's up to everybody in the chat.
Oh, we got
yeah. We got the old man in the house. What's going on, old man?
Yeah, he knows about National Lampoon.
Oh yeah, of course he does. We got Zachariah 315 in the house. What's going on, brother? Got Keely Chow in the house. What's going on, Keely Chow? Saying hey, everybody. Shit, roll tide, my brother. We got Lord Thoth in the house. What's up, Lord Thoth? Shit, and hopefully everybody's having a great afternoon or evening, depending on where you at.
It's
Got low. Yeah, I know, right? Shit, I know. Got low spec Linux laptop in the house. What's going on, low spec? My brother Jeff in the house, man. All right. So Zachariah, got the long suffering. How you doing?
Oh, she's
Hopefully,
here too.
yeah. She's in the house. Disney. Yep. We got Disney sheep herder in the house. What's going on, brother? Shit, that's what's up, man. James Jackson, what's going on, James? Shit, oh man, we doing good, man.
John
Man,
Hughes, it just came to mind. John Hughes, sorry.
John Hughes.
Man, but I wanted to tell everybody thank y'all for being here, man. We couldn't do this without y'all, so man.
Oh, we could do it, but it wouldn't be any fun. It wouldn't
there
be
you
any
go.
fun at all.
There you go. Shit. So, what y'all want to tackle first? What y'all think?
Well, we could do the fight at Barbie first.
You want the Barbie fight? Okay, we'll go with the Barbie fight. Let me grab that up here.
Just because it's so hilarious.
It is, isn't it, though? And what's nice about it is it's nice to see this stuff happen in other nations.
Right.
Let's see, where are you?
Well, you don't want to get between a woman and her Barbie movie. This is bad.
No.
Right. So basically, you know, for everybody that doesn't know what happened, there was we end up coming across a clip of these two women fighting over at a Barbie movie, and they're fighting in the theater. I think the movie just finished, and these two women were fighting, and I halfway knew what the story was about. You know, New Bomb Turk had to basically get me up to speed,
flesh it out a bit.
right. And basically, from what he told me was, this woman went to the theater, bought her kid. I'm not sure if it was a boy or a girl or whatever, but they bought the kid.
It was a girl.
Oh, it was a girl. All right. So mother bought her daughter to the theater to go watch Barbie, and basically the daughter wasn't interested or she was bored. So the mother gives her her cell phone to play around with to keep her occupied or whatever. And basically the daughter started watching all these videos and basically listening to music and basically doing whatever the fuck she wanted to do, and was interrupting the whole theater while everybody was trying to watch the Barbie movie. So when the movie finished, ladies, this one lady walked up to the mother and had some choice words, and then all of a sudden it just it was on. Yeah, it was on at that point. So from that point it starts off getting into a hell of a fight. So it's interesting. So what's up, Vid? Yeah, man. Tell you what, brother. Yeah, man. I tell you what, before we even show this fucking movie, this fight that happened at the Barbie movie. Yeah. We'll go ahead and wait for you to jump on in, brother.
Yeah, we got to have that Masked Avenger's opinion about this.
Yeah, especially this is right down his alley too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So.
No, what's one?
Wait, what? LOL. They were scrapping at a. Yeah. You got it right, brother. They were fighting at a Barbie movie, man. These two women. So we gotta. And then again, nobody's talking about this shit, So I figured everybody's talking about the numbers and Barbie's about to hit $1 billion or not, but they ain't talking about the two bras that got into a brawl in the middle of the fucking theater. So I figured, fuck it, we'll cover it. You know me, man. Shit, I don't give a. I don't care.
And the thing is, I first started going, it's like, oh, great, another great moment for America. It's like, oh, it's not America. That makes it even better. It makes me feel better that this insanity is other places too.
Well, yeah, it's it's a bold step, you give me a minute. Oh man, old man back, LOL. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll wait for you. But yeah, I thought it'd be pretty interesting to check this out. Matter of fact, we'll
there it is. See.
No, we ain't gonna play it just yet. We'll wait.
There it is. I didn't realize
Yeah.
the credits are on that. Yeah, perfect. Dun, dun, dun. Barbie moms. Da, 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 da. The epic battle. This could have been a pay-per-view event. They should have done that. The Barbie match. The Barbie mom match.
Somebody needed to dub in Miles Lane over top, saying, "Let's get it on," and a
Oh yeah.
bell ring like ding ding ding.
And then the winner gets to take on the Waffle House girl.
Right. Oh no, that girl win.
Oh,
You don't want to mess
yeah.
with Waffle House girl. Nah, she catches chairs and shit.
Mhm.
Nah.
She's our new superhero.
I can play it. I should be on by the time it's done. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right. Fuck. Yeah, we can hit the.
Okay, so I'll hit it. Tell me when you want to stop it, or if you want to stop it all during there. But here it is from the
Only
New
40
York
seconds.
Post. Yeah.
Yeah. It's short. It's short, but at least you get to see a little action.
Mm-hmm. So here we go.
Bam!
Damn. Oh yeah. Hey, hold on. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, oh shit. Yeah, she was cursing her out in Spanish. So yeah. That's definitely oh, Brazil. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
damn. I'm talking about, but man, when that, and you could tell that was an older lady too. And when she hit her with that hit, she fucking flew back. That was yo, rewind that shit.
He's gotta see it again.
Yo, she just went, hey, nah.
Okay.
Yeah, just bring it back. You don't, that we don't got to play it just yet. Yeah, just bring it back. We'll play it here in a second.
Okay.
Man, that is too.
Nope.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we can just. Oh my goodness. So what? So let me ask you this: what do you give old girl on the 1 to 10 on that
On the shove?
on that punch? Yeah, that was a shove. I thought that was a punch.
Yeah, that was really more of a shove. She did both hands, but I give her props, but there was a lot of power behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say on that level, I was gonna give her about a 7
Mm-hmm.
on that one. It was on the base of effectiveness. You know what I'm saying? Just
I feel like that. Yeah. I mean, she does have that mass behind her to help with the foot. And the other one looks so
she's a bigger girl.
And the other one's not so big, so it kind of goes in the category. Elastic can be one outcome.
shit. Hey, fuck it? Let's run it one more time. Let's
Ooh, God, here we go.
You're gonna charging up those stairs. Bow!
Oh,
There we go.
man, hold on, man. You see how far her head went back and how girl put that reach into that shit. Oh, come on, man. That was
Yeah, went straight for the head. It's like almost like she's getting her head knocked off completely, knocked the block off. And this one over here must have been the little snotty daughter that they're talking about. And she just
I don't know if that's
that was
maybe an effeminate dude, but
yeah, I was gonna say because if that was the daughter and she just watched her mom get punched in her face, I don't think that. No, I don't know. I couldn't sit there and let my mama get punched in the face. So I don't know. Shit.
Well, that's you. You're a man with integrity.
Yeah, I mean,
damn,
wow.
She went way back.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that was. Look, all right. Hold on.
Oh, that's
so baby,
definitely an effeminate boy there.
yeah, that was that's
it is Brazil. They're kind of known for having those operations. If you know what I mean.
Hey, let me ask you this: what do you call those that old school double fist? You know, they used to do that shit like in the old kung fu flicks where they punch with the 2 fists at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
What was that called? It was like a it's like a double punch. You know, it looked like that's what she did, man, and it just looks wild because old girl went fucking flying like she didn't know what the hell. Man.
It started
So-
out as a Dodge and just went south.
I know, right?
And she like, oh, back.
Hey, look who's here.
Hey. Vigilante Wiz here on another episode. Apparently doing more boxing coverage, even though I'm not on my the sports channel. Yeah, that was a pretty good shove. Pretty good shove in Brazil. I'm just
Yeah, you thought that was a shove, because I thought that was a punch, man. I don't know. It was in a New Bomb said he thought it was like a punch shove, like a kind of
maybe like a palm strike. Let's
I think there's more
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
She's definitely got both arms going outward.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if she was going to grab hair and the other one tried to dip and ended up getting smacked instead.
I'm surprised Steven Iman didn't do this one yet on his.
Well, I tell you what,
get out the way. Get out the way. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I tell you what, before we get started, what's up, Nomad? He came on and said, explain what this is about, please. All right. Okay. So what's going on is at the end of a Barbie movie, these two women got into a fight, and the reason why was because this one woman brought her daughter to the Barbie movie, and basically the daughter wasn't interested and she was bored, so the mom gave her phone, and the daughter started playing videos and music and doing all kind of dumb shit on the phone, disturbing the whole theater, I guess throughout the whole time they were watching the movie. So by the time the movie was over with, this one mother that was fed up with the shit was like, motherfucker, you had your daughter playing all this fucking music and doing all this shit and we couldn't even watch our movie. And they got into this fight, and this is what we're watching right now. So,
play it again.
So basically, you're watching the upset parent, one of the upset mothers, out of the people in the theater, get up and take some action against what they had to deal with the whole time they were there. So,
okay, are we ready, folks?
Yeah,
man.
Take three. Enjoy. Yeah, see?
Both hands are there, boy.
There's both hands, but they go to the face, so it's not really a push. It's a double, it's like an E Honda style, like double palm strike to the face. And I'm assuming the one that got pushed was the mother of the child.
Yeah, right.
My guess, yeah.
God,
and she's just off her feet.
No, she's yelling at the effeminate boy.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what in the name of Ezra Miller's going on over here?
Brazil. That's all you need to know. Brazil.
I know it's Brazil, and I shout out to it not being here. That was my first. I'm like, when you first described the story, I hate to say, I was just like, please don't be us, please don't be us. And I don't mean us specifically, just Americans, and specifically my group. I'm like, please don't be, please. I'm just begging you. Then said Brazil. I'm like, yes, even though it might be slightly, so it's not quite, but it's far enough away for me to be happy about it. But what was he providing? He enjoyed the movie. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, the bare midriff says enough.
Yeah,
with the pink plush hoodie.
Oh
yeah. He's a fan of Barbie.
I don't know. That motherfucker tired as shit too. So I don't know.
Well, let's continue on.
It doesn't help that he's sitting on the pole. You know what? I'll leave that alone. Yeah. I'll leave it alone.
Yeah,
he didn't. And he did nothing to help. Like he just stood there.
Yeah.
No, he looked like he was probably with the lady that did the punching. So that's probably why he just sat there and watched.
But she seemed
he was already standing up there. She came up from the bottom.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
but
and then
he might have
yelling at him too, or him, her, she, he. I don't know, whatever.
Don't misgender this individual.
Yeah, she was yelling at Ezra Miller.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but that's crazy. But you know what though? All shit aside, man, people got to take control their kids. We gotta, I don't have any kids, so I know they say you shouldn't talk shit. You don't have kids. Understandable, man. But I was a kid, man. I used to get. There's no way I could have got away with or my sister. You know what I mean? Could have got away with some shit like this in back in the day. So don't, control your kids and you wouldn't get fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta control your kids. You gotta just like, okay, we're going to see a movie. Yeah, you gotta get the hell out of the way because women don't care.
Amen.
Men don't care, but women really don't care. They scratch, they
Mhm.
fight, they claw.
Right.
Oh.
And
Don't
then,
be trying to break that up.
Yeah, and if
Now,
and
I
if-
can remember, being younger and going to the movie theater, and it wasn't even that busy. It was kind of empty.
Right.
But me, a buddy of mine, and his sister went to go see, I think, the first Fast and Furious. Oof.
oh, wow.
Hey.
And a guy had brought his 2 little kids, and I'm like, I don't think this is their kind of movie. Like, not that it was adult or anything, but just it's really not a kids movie.
No.
And of course, they were making noise and talking throughout the whole flipping movie, and we were raining nerds down on top of them. We were sitting like 5 rows back, just showering them with fucking nerds. Like, shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
He got pissy and stood up, and I was just like, bro, seriously, you have no room to get mad here. Shut your kids up.
Control your kids, man. Got to
Mhm.
teach them respect, man.
Right.
And like another thing is, okay, if your daughter didn't want to see this movie, why are you? Is this a case where the mom wanted to see the movie more than the daughter? Even though it's
Right.
technically a
Could have
kid's
been.
movie?
Yeah. I think that's what it was.
I mean, it also could have been, because I kind of said it at the beginning. It was like they did a whole bait and switch with the advertising, making it seem like it's, a true Barbie movie, which it really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking the kid went, I want to see Barbie, and then realized,
Maybe
fuck, that ain't Barbie.
it's not what I thought it was going to be. They probably, yeah, because they definitely marketed it like this would be a little bit more kids oriented than it probably was.
Mhm.
So I could definitely see that where they thought, oh, this is going to be like toys and fun, and it's like it's not.
Yeah.
And shit, I've been
Not
just watching
patriarchy.
patriarchy. Kids don't even play with toys, which I don't know if it's the chicken or the egg. Is it because toys are so fucking expensive that people don't buy them as often as they do for kids, or is it because adults buy toys more than kids, so therefore kids don't play? I don't know which one it is, but
I would say, well, and it's
Probably
kind of
combo
the trouble with a
both.
lot of things. Parents are quick to hand a kid a tablet,
Yep.
a phone, instead of getting them toys. So
Mhm.
they're just driven by, these electric devices instead of, toys, like regular toys.
what were you about to say? 24?
No, I was gonna say, the thing with kids and the toys is that basically what took the place of toys are the things that they were able to interact with more than just playing make believe, and that's video games, that's
Right.
YouTube,
Yeah.
that's
Oh yeah, definitely.
that's TikTok, that's doing Discord and talking shit online and and gaming online. And it's like basically when the shit got a little bit further or became more than what board games were or comic books could be and all this other shit, man, and or what an action figure could have given, the pleasure that an action figure could have given to a kid. They found that in different ways, with internet and everything else, man. Video games. And
I definitely agree with that, but I still can't help but to think that they're not trying to get kids anymore, right? You know what I mean?
No.
Because
Well,
my thought is Legos was going through that. They were just like all adult kids, and then they kind of start to ease back and say, you know what? Let's just drop the generic Legos again. Let's start at least trying to go to kids. And I think kids will play with Legos because of Roblox. They'll see a link like, oh, this is like Roblox in real life, not knowing Roblox is kind of made off of Legos, but they'll connect to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
For them, it's like, oh, this is just like the game, only I get to do it. Okay, I like this.
Well,
you know,
and on top of that, they did the movie thing correctly.
that's true. Yeah,
They
kept the kids.
Batman Lego and the movies were directly attached to the kids.
Yep.
Like the whole Lego movie is about building stuff.
It's about that dichotomy, really. It's about the adults wanting to build it, and then it's like, well, no, you're not letting kids just be kids. That was probably their come to Jesus moment. Like, oh, we need to Because if all these old farts die, we don't sell anymore because we didn't get invested in the next generation.
Right. So, they started advertising or promoting this out to the big nerd kids that are in their 40s and 40s and 50s and ignoring what built it. And it's like, well, you're going to kill your industry.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's beyond the line of just seriously expensive figurines.
Ooh.
Like you get into this area where it's like they know where the money's coming from, right? The parents buy the kids' toys. The parents buy. Therefore, if we appeal to the parent, we just cut the kid out of the middleman bit.
Middleman out,
and just market to the adults.
Yeah, I think
but when those kids get to be adults,
well, now I will say this. Yeah, there's a line where I could say, there's acceptable purchases, and then there's like, what the hell were you thinking? You could have bought a car or something, serious in life, and you bought this figurine.
Bro.
Like, I mean, what was it? It was whatever the company that Hot Toys works with to make those figures. They had a life-size Iron Man.
Holy shit!
Like it was like $8,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, why?
You can 3D print it for cheaper. I've seen it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And shit. I don't know if it's the same company that works with Hot Toys, but they do like there's a company that does kind of off-brand but very well done toys, and they're like a little cheaper.
There's a number of them, yeah.
But even still, man, I just saw before I hopped on stream. Super 7 has a Cat's Lair for the Thundercat 650.
Oh,
it looks clean,
man.
But 650 plus shipping plus tax. Oh, man, come on! You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you looking at about 7 right there.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually, probably a little bit more because depending on how deep the shipping is, because some people don't fuck around with shipping.
Yeah, that shipping could be $50-$60. It's a nice size. It's a big thing, and it has all the little details, it has chairs and stuff. So I mean, but it's just like, goodness gracious, that's the type of thing makes me want to 3D print it personally. I want to get a 3D printer. Yeah. If you spent that $650 on a 3D printer and another maybe $50 on the plastic and shit, you probably could get that yourself and do it yourself.
Yeah. And I posted a while back.
I know I'm going on a tangent, but I'm sorry.
That's all right.
No,
I posted a while back on my Twitter about it's a legacy figure collection. They were doing quarter scale Clint Eastwood characters. So like Harry Callahan.
Oh yeah.
The guy from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, the character from like the significant ones, right?
Right.
The one with the poncho and like super detailed stuff and and they weren't horribly expensive. Like the quarter scale Harry Callahan is badass because it's like this whole stand and it's got a fire hydrant that's knocked over. It's the scene where he holds, he says the line, "Do you feel lucky?" Line, and it's the scene where the fire hydrant's knocked over and there's water everywhere, and he's like walking through, holding the gun out, and it's a really, really good figure, but God, like hundreds of dollars, and it's not even the most expensive, but
it's not the most
super detailed.
Because the Hot Toys can get $500, $600, $700, $800 new, then they'll want more on the resale market because of the damn scalpers. Because I'm actually looking at it, I'm like, good Lord, that looks just like him. The fucking facial,
right?
And then you have that's what you're paying for, is that extra little detail.
Yeah,
the thing about those is they had Clint Eastwood unbox all those motherfuckers, and he was looking at it in his face, and he was like, "Oh shit!" Like it looks exactly like me. Like when you're sitting there and he's looking at it, and he's never had his own action figure until just now. They never had an action
really
figure
can't
on
even
him.
Call it an action figure, but
yeah, that's more of a model. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, he should show him around the things. Jesus.
Yeah, he was really happy with the outcome. He was
man, he couldn't believe it.
Are just insane.
Yeah. So that's. So I tell you what, man. When the man himself gives you the 2 thumbs up, shit.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to see them continue on with other people. You know, I'd love to see a quarter scale Bruce Lee from Enter the Dragon. I mean, that would just be badass.
Yeah. See, I will say this about these premium formats that's like, okay, you have clothes, you have mini clothes, you have that. That's one thing because this is a premium product. They didn't make 20,000, 100,000 of these. It's like 1,000, 100 a piece.
Yeah, they're
small
rare.
Rare. Only the people who have money. We're not. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that product existing.
Well, no, not at all.
The problem lies where you have products that are on a lower scale that are treating themselves like this type of product. Oh, we're only going to make 10 or a few limited edition of this quote unquote $20 figure. So when we go to eBay, because this is the Nike started this shit back in the day with fucking shoes, and now everybody is. Where you say we have a limited edition, and we only, let's say there's 1,000 limited edition of something. We're going to sell 500 to retail, and we're going to keep 500 and sell it on eBay ourselves, or go through sellers ourselves. Right. And now that $20 or $50, whatever it is, triples, quadruples. It's a grand. You know, Funko Pop. This Funko Pops for $1,000 now. You know what I'm saying? It's limited edition special. And,
when they re-released the Gen 1s, the original Air Jordans, I had those when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I had a pair. I had the black and red, just like, you know, the standard ones. And then I had a pair of all whites.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh, I'd love to get the all whites again. I love those shoes.
Yep.
By the time I found out that they were going to do it, shit was already gone. And then, of course, you look on eBay and they're fucking through the roof.
700.
Yeah, I'm not paying that for a pair of fucking sneakers just because I'd be afraid to wear them.
Right. And that's another thing with the sneaker game. Right. People don't people buy them and don't wear them.
Right.
Yeah, they just sit them in a closet and go, look what I got.
And I say this as a recovering sneaker addict. I bought a bunch of pairs. I had bought a bunch of pairs. I still got pairs. When I kind of got back into it, I was able to find deals because sometimes you can find, you know, once the sneaker's not popular, the price will drop. But then I bought some sneakers for $90 that they since re-released, and now the sneakers are like, I don't know how much. I don't want people to run up here and get shot, so I ain't gonna tell you. But I don't want the smoke and have to deal with the police and all that.
Right.
So, but no, they're worth quite a bit more than what I paid because of the popularity and the hype beast of Instagram and the internet. Because it
all comes back around eventually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
well, I tell you what. Anybody has any last? I tell you what. Just one more time for the roll. Let's hit the video.
Oh yeah. We can do this one more time.
Okay.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Oh, you know, I just realized Ezra Miller was trying to push the old lady.
Yeah.
But then when the guy came up, he got shook. He was like, "Oh no,
oh no, I don't want that heat."
Yep.
That's why old buddy look like he's about to square up with him.
Yeah,
they look like they're about to go.
Ezra Miller knew he could see he was gonna get fucked up. Man, you know what? Keep your kids in check. This wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
right.
I love this fake Dr. Dre music they said. Yeah.
All right, hit the pause because they'll definitely that music could get us.
That's why I've been doing it quick. You know,
I think it's generic, and I hope it's the generic version, but who knows? Because you know what, the copyright shit is so crazy, you might still get got. I don't even say nothing.
All right. I believe you.
Yeah,
because it's close enough. Because I knew exactly which song they were emulating, so it's close enough. Yeah. Barbie fans were playing. So you're missing the female. Well, she was empowered. She was empowered to knock another female out.
Yeah,
right. She had all kinds of power behind that.
And the whole crowd, you know, you see the people at the bottom are looking happy, like, thank you for doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody had to
take the music down.
Well, all right. Well. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's.
Okay.
Shit, we can move on to the.
Okay. What do you want next, folks?
Mortal
Kombat.
Yeah. Let's do the Mortal Kombat.
Okay, Mortal Kombat. There we go.
I'm a fighting game guy. This comes out next month, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or not,
so.
well, almost. Was it?
Oh,
It's not
I
August
must have
yet.
hit the
Come on,
wrong
September.
button. I hit the
I
wrong.
believe it comes out in September. It's
Well,
not
it
quite
might as well
August.
be August. I mean, we got one day.
One day, yeah. So
Right.
basically next month.
Okay, there we go. And I'll try hard not to hit the wrong button again. But here we
No
go.
worries, man.
No. You good, brother? What's up,
Appreciate your
Hefacious?
Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
appreciate you, brother.
Howdy.
Yeah.
I can't see right now. I can't see the chat, so
Nah, you good, brother.
I'll go with you guys. Okay, so here we got this. It's from Game Rant, dated on the 22nd, so a few days ago. Cameron
Right.
Lucas is the byline on, and how Mortal Kombat 1 can make Omni-Man and Homelander feel unique. The boys Homelander and Invincible Omni-Man are set to join Mortal Kombat 1, but both dark versions of Superman need to find their own niche. See how I did that niche? So, and
Hey, now hold on.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, I want to see the picture real quick. So, Homelander, Omni-Man, Peacemaker, and then 3 Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and one of them, the guy on the left, I can't think of his name, but he hasn't been in Mortal Kombat in a few of them, and people
That's
been looking for.
That's not Smoke, huh?
No, they've redesigned it. It could be. I'm talking about the bald guy. What is his name?
The guy in the far left.
Quan Chi, I think it is. If there's a Mortal Kombat fan, please correct me. I think it's Quan Chi, and I feel like he's missed a couple games, so people have been kind of looking for him to come back. So I actually have, I don't want to say strong feelings, but I got some interesting feelings about this. While I absolutely think it's cool to have all, it is Quan Chi, it has it right there, and Ermac. That's Ermac. Golly,
Ermac. That's what it was. Ermac. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Wow, his design looks totally different than back in the day. But I am happy to have. Listen, I just had a rant talking about Tekken 7 and their lack of new characters and cool characters to bring in, and I think it's cool to bring these characters in, and they got a lot of hype behind it. But what's getting missed is they're advertising DLC for a game that's not out yet. This is DLC. This does not come with the game. You have to pay for it.
It's part of this first season pass.
Season pass.
So,
right.
But it's
same thing.
It's just, it bothers me, and I'll make this point and get out. It just bothers me that we've gone this far down the DLC range where it's just like, oh yeah, here's the first season pass of the game you have to pay extra for on top of the game. They just take us for granted that we're going to buy it. And you know what? I probably will. So what the fuck am I saying? That's my problem.
I will say this. That is kind of Mortal Kombat's theme over the past, three games? Like everybody's anticipating what are the additional characters. You know, they had horror ones, and was it the last one or the one before that?
They had Jason and Freddy. And
Freddy and
Leatherface. I think.
Yeah, Leatherface. They had a few of them.
So I mean, it's built into how they've been marketing the game. Is have we got some surprises for you, kind of stuff. And I think it's cool, but honestly, Homelander and Omni-Man are effectively the same character that look different. Like, completely godlike, bad supermen that you obviously have to curtail their powers to fit them in the game. Because otherwise it would just be a complete death match.
Like Johnny Cage would fight Homelander. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Right, or even in this image, like Peacemaker.
Right?
Dude's got guns. That's it.
Yeah.
Bang.
And but I mean, you're right. They have marketed towards it. They had RoboCop in the last one. I think they got Peter Weller to do his voice, and I think they got Sly Stallone to do Rambo. And they got the guy who did
Terminator.
the voice for Spawn. Terminator.
And then
I don't think they got Arnie. Did they?
No.
He sounded like
have Arnie.
I thought they got a really good impersonator, but I don't think they could have got Arnie. I think he denied him. If I remember correctly, if there's a Mortal Kombat fan in the chat, please correct me, because I've smoked weed since then, so I don't know. But yeah, it's cool to see these characters. It's cool to see all this, and I'm sure they're gonna have more cool characters as further seasons. But I do hate that we've just passed the point in gaming where it's like, all right, well, we already know there's going to be day one DLC and season passes and all this other good stuff to make sure you're paying for this game throughout the entire life cycle. And ironically enough, that's probably a better model than Madden. You know what I'm saying? As much as I hate this model, I wish Madden did this model. We're like, hey, you buy Madden and you get it for 5 years until we finish the new one. And for that time, you'll buy DLC rosters. It would suck, but it would be better than what they have. So as much as I'm shitting on this model, it could be worse.
Well, I mean, honestly, like if you look at how NFL games have been, well, EA's game, because they're the only ones that have a game. You could play the current one and play the anniversary one, which was 5 years ago. And it's the same game. They keep saying they update it, but then when you get down to the nuts and bolts of every play and what the reactions are on the field of the AI players, they do the same exact shit. You got offensive linemen running off to block air always, or completely turning around in the pocket, which, like, if you've ever played football, that is a huge no. You'll get pulled off the fucking field for doing that. Like, and these guys are just wandering around the backfield like, who do I block? Who do I block?
Yeah, these supposedly Pro Bowl, offensive linemen don't know how basics of playing offensive line. Right. It's to the point where if you watch like tutorials and tips of the game, they are teaching you how to glitch the game. They're not teaching you strategy against people. They're saying, oh, when you do this, the defense is going to do that, so do this. So they're teaching. The glitches are the meta. Is glitching the AI of the defense to score. It's not actually trying to, beat your opponent with whatever plays you picked and everything.
Right. Well, the ultimate kick in the teeth was when that guy chose to play a whole game, like in their tournament, and won with a punter at quarterback.
Oh man.
And basically just ass whooped everybody, and they could not stop him. And he was effectively calling out EA in the process, like, I can do this. Fix your game. I shouldn't be able to do this. I shouldn't be able to even win with a punter at quarterback. And he never threw the ball. He threw the ball 0 times in the whole tournament.
We just glitched the runs and shit. The quarterback.
Yeah, runs? it was effectively glitching the run with the punter.
That's a part of the meta because there's certain things, the way the defense is going to respond. They're not going to adapt. If you had a running quarterback in real life, the defense is going to start to look for that, and they're not going to automatically always drop back every single time and give you 20 yards. Drop back.
Well, and even prior to that, I can remember there was a specific blitz package that if you adjusted all your defensive linemen and left a hole and pulled a linebacker in, the linebacker was free every single play. It's
you got to glitch them on defense too to try to. That's the only meta. That's the only way you can win.
Right, but I mean, it was ridiculous. You tell me offensive linemen would be like, this motherfucker's getting through every single time. Don't you think we should probably
account for him,
block him? But it was just ridiculous. That's why I stopped playing Madden.
And you're smart too. And people have found old assets in this game year after year. It's just there's a lot of stuff with the game design. So even though I'm critical of this, and it's cool, I like seeing these cool characters in the game, and I like the little. Even though I haven't, it's been a while since I've got up with Mortal Kombat, and I'm kind of. Yeah, and then after buying Street Fighter 6, and I feel like I bought it too early because I'm not really playing it. Like, I'm gonna wait a little bit on Mortal Kombat, but like I said, as much as I'm critical of we're selling the DLC before the game, it could be worse. You could be just, this is the new meta. This is how games budget themselves. They're not just talking about first day sales. They want to get money from the player base year after year after year. So we're gonna have season 1. Next year's season 2, and however many seasons they do of this, and there'll be new characters and all this. So,
the next game.
Right?
The next one, right?
You remember when it came out with the last Injustice You remember like right when they were advertising it, they were talking about, hey, we got Ninja Turtles, we got so basically they were,
it's the same
those
game,
are all
effectively.
right, and those are all DLCs. So basically, like right before the game even got put out, they were hyping up the DLCs. Right from the start, because right when they were advertising the game from the jump, they were letting you know, hey, we got Hellboy, we got Ninja Turtles, we got this, we got that, and we were like, damn, and we knew that right before the game even came out.
Yep, this is the same thing they're doing. The same
You're right.
This is how they market. This is how they market now.
And actually, this is the same company, because the people that are doing Injustice is doing Mortal Kombat, and that's how they swap characters and shit. Because one hand watching the other.
Absolutely, and that's why, you know what? Don't be shocked. Speaking of Injustice, there will be an Injustice season pack. You'll get the actual Superman. It's bad. Now that they done put Omni-Man and Homelander, you know Superman's coming season 2. You know what I'm saying? So we can have Superman versus Homelander. You know they're gonna do that. That's that. And is it Mortal Kombat as a whole owned by Warner Brothers? Am I correct or incorrect? I think
no, actually.
Or at least licensed to, yeah.
I thought it was mid.
No, it used to be Midway. Now it's NetherRealm. I think it's
NetherRealm, right?
But I think that's under WB Games.
Could be.
I think
it could be. It could be.
So,
yeah.
And I know the game legal shit. I don't always understand it, because it's a publisher and a developer, and they're not always the same thing.
Right, and then you got to think, what kind of deal is let's say Mortal Kombat have with, think about it, you got DC Comics, you got whoever the boys are with, then you Omni-Man and them, right, and then you Omni-Man and them are Image,
yeah.
So it's like you got a few things here,
yeah.
This ain't just all Warner Brothers, and this ain't all just something else. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm sorry, I'm cutting everybody off. I gotta get back to talking to other people.
No,
even like we were talking about with the Ninja Turtles and Hellboy and all the other guest characters, they're licensing a lot of stuff out. They had the Terminator in one of these games. They licensed a lot of stuff out.
Yeah. Well, and it's even more telling that from the story Invincible, they don't pick the main character. They pick Omni-Man, because Omni-Man's the more menacing of the two. The main character is just physically looking at him, he's a wimpy boy, and his dad bitch slapped him around for the whole first season, and actually throughout the story, really. If you read the comic.
How close is the show to the comic? Because I'm just getting into Invincible. No,
they jump off it a little bit. I went through the whole series.
Right.
And I mean, there's common elements. There's obviously details in some of the storyline, like his girlfriend. They changed for reasons. DEI reasons.
Right. Diversity inclusion.
Right. But honestly, like even her character, not even just what she looks like physically, but like her personality is very different from the one in the comics. So yeah, I mean, the basic story points are there, but they definitely take a step to the side every now and then to change a bit. And they said they're going to do even more in season 2.
It's funny, yeah. Well, we'll see. It's funny. I saw the season 2. They had an episode recently, like an Adam Eve episode. That was the first thing I ever saw, and then I saw the very first episode of Invincible. I'm like, oh my god, I want to see this show. So I'm just not getting into it. But I did hear that they had changed some things. So
the original story is really good. I did like it. I mean, it's not just like with Homelander, it's a bad Superman or whatever. Like there's more there. It's the dichotomy between Omni-Man and his son, and how his son deals with that, and how the family deals with that, and even how Omni-Man deals with it in a way.
Yeah, he seems to be a little bit more complex than Homelander.
Oh yeah, and that'll continue. as the story progresses, because he realizes like his original mission as a Viltrumite is in jeopardy because he fathered this child, which the whole purpose was to take over Earth. And he's supposed to, basically whatever planet, because of their numbers are low now compared to like many years ago. He has to effectively procreate on every planet he goes to, so that he has at least a half Viltrumite in every planet, so that it makes it easier to take over. But he realizes he has feelings for his son because it's his son. Yeah, and it makes him conflicted. So it's actually an interesting way to take a character and like kind of jerk their chain a bit. Like, yeah, we get it. You're supposed to be this domineering race, but having a kid changed everything. Yeah. Okay. Even though he beats the living shit out of him.
Spoilers for the thing, but I've known a lot of that is just part of the meta of the stuff. You can't not know about the whole Viltrumite taking over the universe. That's part of the thing. But it's so far it's a cool story, so I want to check out more of it. And I like I said, as much as I complain, I'm not buying this at launch, man. That's one thing I'm going to hold to. I'm not even going to buy it this first month. I got to wait till the deals happen, man. These games are too fucking expensive. Inflation is hidden, and shout out to my PC. It's not the highest tech, and it's still handling everything. That's cool, but I can't just give y'all $70 every couple months, man. I got
70 for premium edition with first pass. I guarantee this will be $100.
Oh man, well I'm not getting the premium. I mean, they usually have. I said 70 because they usually have the premium edition, the basic edition, and then like the basic edition with some
basic
DLC.
Plus or whatever.
Basic Plus, and I'm like, basic Plus is probably 70. That's why I said that. But I'm not giving them that. I'm waiting until 6 months. When is this coming? Well, shit, this might be on sale so September. Could be on sale around Christmas. So they might do this for $40 for the main game, or $45 for the main game, and like $10 for the DLC. That's still $55. But this got save them pennies somehow. We'll see. We'll see around Christmas what the deals are. It'll actually depend on how well the game sells. If the game doesn't sell well, those deals are going to be hidden. If the game does,
that's a hard press especially with these characters, these add-on characters. Characters we haven't seen in a while, on top of the never seen before stuff. Yeah, I think it's going to sell well. They
probably will. They know what they're doing with the market. That's why it's 24 said they've been doing this. They did this with the Ninja Turtles, and they're going to continue to do this style marketing because they know it's just the cool factor is going to draw people in.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, if you look at all these characters, like the throwaway one to me, and it's just my personal opinion, is Peacemaker. Like, he's the throwaway character.
It's interesting. He is John. They definitely made him after John Cena. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
John Cena's in another game. Crazy. Yeah. It's also crazy. You know what? How popular was that show? Apparently, that show's way more popular than I gave it credit for.
Which one?
Peacemaker. Yeah.
Oh, you mean The Boys?
No, Peacemaker show.
Peacemaker.
Not Homelander. Obviously, The Boys and Invincible, very popular. I know that. I'm talking about the Peacemaker show on HBO Max.
I didn't think it was that popular.
I didn't either, but they're putting them here.
Well, this again ties into the link with Injustice.
True.
And WB, like, parent companies like, hey, you need to include one of our more recent editions, and
But that's not Ezra Miller's Flash. You know what I mean? They're not going to include something that doesn't work.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't put what's the other? They didn't put Batwoman in this DLC.
Oh.
I'd be surprised if you don't see maybe Supergirl at some point. Like you were saying, Superman. I would say we'd probably see Supergirl first, and the movie version of Supergirl, not the original.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think Peacemaker was bad per se, not like Flash bad.
Yeah.
And obviously no controversy behind it, really. It's just John Cena. You know, maybe the little bit of apologizing in Chinese was a bit weird.
Yeah, that was more
whatever.
controversial than the show itself.
Right, exactly. So, you know, it was just kind of meh. At the end of the day, it was just
Must have touched some, because I mean, I felt like when I looked at the comments, people wanted to see Peacemaker too. Obviously, Homelander, Omni-Man was kind of the plus. And then obviously the OG fans wanted Quan Chi back, and I did not know that was Aramec. They really just designed them crazy. But people wanted to see Peacemaker, and I'm like, really?
You know, I could see Peacemaker coming off like RoboCop.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you remember how RoboCop played in the Mortal Kombat, you know, because, you know, carrying a gun, probably has grenades, you know, some other shit. And, you know, John Cena might have a little bit more speed, like far as like walking back and forth or whatever during the fight.
Yeah.
But as far as that, you know, it'll be him and his, you know, his guns, unless he does something like maybe throw a punch or some shit like that.
Yeah. They'll probably give him a couple wrestling moves as a hint. Since, you know, for grabs and stuff like that, he might do the little finisher. But it's funny you mentioned that, because I thought the same thing about both Omni-Man and Homelander. They're probably just going to use a lot of Superman's play style to port over the character. You know what I mean? Because, again, these developers, no disrespect, they're efficient.
Right.
I'll say that. We're not going to call them lazy.
Right.
They work hard. But they're going to say, okay, what can we reuse? And they probably are going to reuse a lot of RoboCop stuff for just the basic of Peacemaker, and then Superman and Supergirl. They actually had, like, you know, Superman, Supergirl, and Power Girl. So they already had like a class. So they're probably gonna kind of dip into some of those moves.
I mean, what is the biggest difference between Omni-Man and Homelander is Omni-Man. Does he have laser eyes?
I don't think he does have heat vision.
Like,
and neither has cool breath, right? I know what's his name has the screen.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't show that in the comic series that I know of. Homelander is the laser eyes.
Yeah.
You see him glowing there.
Yeah. He has laser eyes. He has They both have super strength, super speed.
Right.
And flight.
And they can both fly. Yeah.
And is that all Omni-Man does?
Well, he's
obviously indestructible, basically. You know what I mean?
Right. And you really can't portray that in a game like this, because they have to be defeatable.
They have to have a health bar.
So
right.
They'll
probably story it away. Oh, the power's a little diminished now because you're in Outworld.
Could be, yeah. Same thing with Homelander too, because he's supposed to be nigh invincible as well.
True.
So let me ask you this: what happens if they have it to where a Homelander and Omni-Man, even at their strongest, are at the same level as all other Mortal Kombat characters?
It'd be proper game balancing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, they come in there, they do all their moves. Because, you know, what it is what they never explain is the balance of power. Well, you know, they don't, like basically a hero can come in there, be as strong as he's gonna be, like the way you see him in comic books and movies or whatever the fuck, or cartoon. They'll put him in the game. He'll have the same skill sets, all that shit. But the thing is, it'll be on an even playing level with the rest of the characters.
Yeah. The only one they explain that with is MK versus DC. They did have like some explanation as to like why the Joker could fight Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Like they were glowing, and there was something because of the cross of the universe that their powers were going out of whack, and that's why some of the guys went down, some of the people went up, and it would go all out of whack. That's the only time they ever explain the fact that these characters are not balanced at all. Like I said, I know Johnny Cage is supposed to have some magic to him and some power, but he can't fuck with Omni-Man or Homelander at all.
Oh no,
you know what I'm saying? Or Superman if he guessed. You know what I'm saying? Or Darkseid if he's a guest, or any other character that might show up. Like they can't fuck. Now one thing, a Scorpion, because he's supposed to be basically like a part demon, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But some of these characters, the people who are, I mean, Jax, I love Jax, but he just has mechanical arms. That's not going to get it done. You know what I mean?
No.
He's
Well,
too
and
good a
that's
soldier
that
arms.
kind of leans into the whole. This story worked in its original form, but now you've progressed so far, and you want to bring in other characters that those original characters are like dated, really dated.
They're not scaled for them.
Right, exactly. So you have to bring characters that were more base level characters, bring them up just to even seem fair, you know, in a fighting scenario.
Yeah,
Right.
Like I like Kung Lao. I mean, a hat. Come on, man. You know,
Well, you know,
ain't gonna work.
well, you know, when they bought in, like, let's say like Freddy Krueger back in like, what was that, 8 or 9?
Yeah.
Whichever
other one had all the horror.
I want to say it's 9 because 9 seems like the highlight one.
Right. Yeah, they had it seemed like they had him at a whole different skill set, especially how he kind of came through dimensions and showed up.
Yeah. That's another internal thing. Sometimes they accidentally don't scale the characters right. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh wait, Superman is still, Omni-Man is unstoppable in this game because they gave it a moves that you can't fucking stop, or he does too much damage and shit like that. So that's another issue.
Well, I mean, the funny thing would be if they took Omni-Man and Homelander, as this first season, maybe they change it in the second season, but in the first season, that if you choose either one, you can't beat the other one. Like, it always ends up a draw in some way, or it just goes on forever. That would be like the ultimate troll, is to basically make these characters themselves.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do the story part. I mean, I guess that remains to be seen. But I think that wasn't there I feel like there was a somebody did something where they had Omni-Man versus Homelander, and I don't think it was the Death Battle. It was something else, or maybe it was Death Battle. Maybe I'm wrong. But they did that. They said Omni-Man would win because training plus powers, and Homelander's kind of a pussy.
Wow, you heard it here, folks.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like, other than his powers, like, his personal life is really fucked up. The whole mother's milk thing.
Yes,
not the character, but his actual attachment to breast milk. It's very weird. You didn't know about that?
Nah.
Yeah, like, that's all through the second season. Like, him sitting there. Well, even in the first season, before they killed Elizabeth Shue's character off, she was breastfeeding him.
Oh.
He's all
okay. All right.
Yeah, he's really, like, messed in the head. Like,
yeah.
It's very strange. There's a lot of weird, strange things in it. Like, I've never seen The Boys, but it's one of those comics that I've, like, watched content on the story even before The Boys came out. And so there's a lot of weird, quirky shit throughout the whole series. It's very, I mean, it's very satirical, right? It's very,
absolutely.
That's the whole point. It's much harder in satire. Even, I haven't heard as much about Invincible as I did Boys, but it seems to be much harder of a pure satire, where Invincible is a story about sort of thing. It's a little bit different, at least to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially with like we were talking about the story for Invincible. Like, they keep to the script for the most part, and then step out of it every now and then. The Boys has gone completely off script at this point. Like, the way the comic ends, and the character that eventually does take Homelander down isn't going to be the character that takes him down.
Yeah, I already heard about
in the show. Yeah.
They've already changed him completely.
Oh yeah, they did so from the jump. I mean, Black Noir is a beast of a character, And effectively, if you've ever read the comic, spoilers.
Spoiler. He's just
Black Noir is effectively Homelander.
Yeah.
Tweaked.
Yeah.
And you know, he's not quite. He's like the retarded version of Homelander because he doesn't speak because he doesn't know how. Like, it's just this weird shit. But you had to have a Homelander to beat a Homelander. He was the backup in case anything went sideways. Black Noir was supposed to be that character that could effectively take Homelander out. And you've already shown that he's not a copy of Homelander. So all of that goes right out the window.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, I mean the comic was pretty good. The comic definitely goes a lot further. Like the show tries to play on this, like, ooh, we're all risque and we do these crazy things in the show, and it's like they tried to do the one side issue that the party island that they had, where they just made it a party in a house.
Right.
What the hell was that? What the hell was the name of that issue? Oh, Herogasm.
Oh.
And that issue like goes way over the top with like the shit they show. And the TV version was very tame comparatively.
Right. Man. So, Lord Paul says that he's not going to pay money for this.
And I don't blame him. I don't. I mean, even though I like I said, I'll probably catch it on sale because I do like fighting games. I think this is we're in a weird place with the game industry because the game it's starting to be a pushback. Everybody's not buying every game all the time because it's like we can't afford this, guys. there's a world out there. You guys are just trying to milk us to death with everything, and we can't afford DLC every month and all, $70, $100 special edition. But for some games you can. We saw that Spider-Man that sold out. All the special editions sold out. For some games they'll do that, but that's not every game. Everybody can't do that. And I was actually surprised that there was that much love for that Spider-Man game. And then again, I'm thinking about getting a PS5 for it. So I, again, can't talk too much.
Oh,
I don't have one, and I would need one. Part of me says I should wait until it comes to Steam, but that's like 2 or 3 years. I'm like, I don't want to wait that long. But
yeah.
All right. Well, so I'll tell you what. Any last words on this?
Yeah, I think we covered it
Not
pretty good.
really. No.
Okay.
All right. Well, we can.
And I didn't even have to read much of this one. I like that.
No, it's I mean, we really, we knew what we, basically we know what's going on. We know that this is the beginning of them coming out with. They're probably going to have a few more characters, a couple, maybe a superhero here and there, to come along with all this. I heard Harley Quinn showing up in this game too.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying I heard Harley Quinn is probably going to be another character that probably comes in the next phase, in the season pass after this. Yeah, after this goes down. So, there's going to be some other characters coming. Shit.
Okay.
But I think the next topic will be something I want to see what people feel about this. Let's do the actor.
Okay. Hot time in the old town tonight. Okay. Here we go. Boom.
Yeah.
So we have this article from.
All right,
Dining.
Hey, you might need to scroll it up just a little bit.
Yep.
Or I don't know, it looks kind of small. There you go. What is you see what happened here, Vidge?
I'm watching this. I'm trying to read like who is that? It is a little. Is that? Wait a second. Okay, Battle. So who's this guy that did that? Who did that?
So he's the stunt man for for Harrison Ford when he just did this Indiana Jones movie. This Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dipshit. You know, yeah, he's indie stuntman, and for him, in solidarity of all the people that's in striking, he fucked around and lit himself on fire.
Shouldn't you be madder about?
To be fair, he is a stuntman.
Yeah,
but but it's like, damn, it's just actors and screenwriters, or writers or whatever, just fucking. They're protesting or whatever, but he just was like, "Fuck it, man!" For all of us, we stand united. And then he just fucking lit himself on fire.
So I got a question: which is worse, risking your life for a terrible movie or risking your life for a pointless cause? Which you think?
I don't think he was risking. I don't think he was risking his life at all. This was pre-planned.
No.
Probably not.
No, I'm dead serious, because if you look at his hair. Like, if you've ever seen guys prep for firework as a stuntman, they put this gel on that effectively the gel burns and they don't.
No, I'm sure this
is in their hair and shit. Yeah,
this is pre-planned, and this was, he's a stuntman. He probably had some of his stunt coordinator friends help him with this.
Yeah, because actually, if you look
set out.
Yeah, because if you look in the background, if I don't know if you could blow up the picture or not, but if you look in the background. Yeah, he has a fire extinguisher in his hand, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
No,
but what I'm saying is there's still an inherent risk to any stunt, no matter what the plan is.
Yeah.
And so there's the risk. There's some, he could trip and fall, and then he's like, oh, everything's fucked, and still suffer some injuries. And so my joke is just like, okay, you had to be Harrison Ford stuntman for that terrible movie. And now he's, burned himself for this cause. Like, man, I feel bad somewhat for some of the actors and writers, but it's like, bro, you don't have the body of work that makes me think you guys are like deserve. And I'm sick of arguing for anyone within these strikes. I get it, rights and all that shit. And I know a lot of most of the actors don't make that much money, and I don't. I get it, but I mean, the union costs are part of the reason these movies are so expensive. Now we're going to enter the AI generation. I just heard an AI sing with so much soul. I know music is going to be replaced. At first, I'm like, they can't replace it. Yeah. No, they're going to. AI is going to replace music. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe an AI created this. So we're going to have AI actors. We're going to have AI writing. And it's probably going to be better than what we got the past 10 years. I hate to say it to you guys.
I agree.
It is what it is, man. The milkman used to deliver milk to everyone's house. We don't have a milkman anymore. You guys have become obsolete and are becoming obsolete. And part of it is your own fault because you spent the past 5-10 years telling us we sucked if we didn't agree with you. So,
not only that, gotta remember last time they had the strike, what happened out of that? That's when you had that reality TV boom start happening. We don't need writers for this. We don't need actors for that. And it's still going strong today.
That was the underlying bullshit, because all that, supposedly live TV crap, pardon me, was all scripted anyway.
Oh yeah.
Like The Bachelor and the female, all that shit is utter horseshit. They just set they place it in a setting that makes you believe it's real. But at the end of the day, there's fucking people still writing those episodes.
Or at least plotting it out. Yeah.
Like the flavor of love, right?
Yep.
Right.
Oh God.
Well, when I did that sizzle reel, reel for the one they wanted to do with our group, basically it was them prompting us to say this and that, and basically we weren't being ourselves. It was like, oh, we want you to say, not writing it, but it was like they had their predetermined, this is what you should do for this one. You should do this for this one. What can you tell me, And so it's like, there's a lot more plotting and planning to these.
They're premise TV. They're not reality.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that dates all the way back to, God, when MTV was doing
Real World.
Yeah.
The Real World.
The original Real World. The first season, I would say, was not scripted, but once they caught on that this was going to be popular, that second, third season, absolutely scripted. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, but that takes less. It still probably takes less effort than writing a whole script and coming up with a whole season of television.
Oh,
hiring
yeah.
actors.
You
That makes it a lot
It's much
easier.
cheaper. You don't have to, and fuck reality TV. We're in the NPC TikTok age, guys.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So like, we're in the content creator era. So I mean, how many people are already watching Twitch and YouTube and TikTok and Instagram anyway?
Right.
People still want to see movies. I do think people still like the scripted television, or you want to call it streaming now. People still like scripted content, but they haven't had a good showing the past 10 years. And I know a lot of it's been executive influence, but all of it hasn't. Somebody went to the idea with Ghostbusters 2016. Somebody said, hey, we need to shoot John Connor at the beginning of Terminator. Somebody suggested this stuff, and it was you guys, and you guys executed it as far as the actors. So it's like, hey, and again, spent so much marketing time. Ewan McGregor talking about how this is something for men or whatever, or wake up call to men or whatever for the Harley Quinn movie that they renamed 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you can't do that, guys. You can't talk shit about people and then say, hey, support us, please. We need your support in this. You just told me fuck you like 2 minutes ago, my guy. What are you doing?
Support us, you pieces of shit. We need you, but you're a piece of shit.
Like, fuck off.
What I was also going to bring up about this stuntman, like, okay, so he's Harrison Ford's stuntman. Now, typically when big name actors have a stuntman, they have a stuntman just about for their career. So as many action movies as Harrison Ford has done, like The Fugitive way back, and Clear and Present Danger and all this other shit, this has been his go-to because he sort of looks like him. And that's all they need, right? So this guy's full of shit if he's saying he isn't getting paid, because he was on every goddamn action movie that Harrison Ford ever did.
He's probably a millionaire, more than likely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You talk about
okay. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think he's just okay? So if this, so basically what you're saying is he's been, let's say Harrison Ford's stunt dudes, let's say since the 90s, right?
No.
I'm just saying like right around the time he did that movie where he would Dr. What's his face, and he was on the run, and
The
Fugitive, right? So basically you could say that this guy has been around Harrison Ford since around that time, right?
Yeah, I would say older Harrison Ford. So the point where Harrison Ford started to go gray, which is about that era, like
he was
regarding
older
Henry
in the 70s.
time.
Right,
he was 30.
He was already in his 30s by the time Star Wars hit. Yeah. But I'm saying like the gray-haired Harrison Ford, or even slightly gray-haired Harrison Ford.
Okay, so how about like what was that, Hollywood Homicide? Him and Josh Burnett.
Probably, yeah.
Right around that time, that was like early 2000s.
I would say even before that. So probably 90s.
Yeah, let's go with 90s.
Yeah.
Let's go Fugitive. Let's say The Fugitive was his first time meeting you, Harrison, and he just been riding with him ever since. Let's go to Fugitive. That's 92, 93.
Yeah,
30 years. That's 30 years.
Give or take, yeah.
25, 30 years. He's been Harrison Ford's stunt double.
Right.
And you figured after all those movies, he's probably done other things when Harrison Ford wasn't shooting anything, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's making money. So what would motivate him to do this kind of shit if you'd say he's already a millionaire and he's acting like he's not getting paid? You think he's doing this for points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these people are.
I would absolutely say so. I would say so. Yeah.
As Newbound Turk said, this is probably no big deal for a guy like it. It looks crazy to us, but it's probably something he could do in his sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
So he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do a fire stunt
one
for
of
the cause.
If you go to any Stuntman Academy, which there's a couple of them around,
right,
this is one of the first things you learn is how to burn, or how to, deal with the whole getting set on fire and falling to the ground, like, because they act as much as anybody else because they have to do certain things within a scene as chaos is going on and they're on fire, they got to do shit. Right? Yeah. What is this guy's name? Scroll down.
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. So, as we started.
Damn.
So, Harrison Ford stunt performer Mike Massa, Massa, fresh off of doing the Dial of Colostomy Bags, and decided to make a stand for union member as an advocate of the work that stunt actors do.
Okay, shit. I just looked him up on IMDb. And yes, he has been Harrison Ford's stunt guy for a while.
Okay.
But he's also been in a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
He has
stunt coordinating, outside
130 entries. Ooh. Just as a stunt guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's in a different union than those guys.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is since you said that, you know what's so stupid? So he's not even a part of
for the cause, man.
For the cause. What the fuck? I saw that at the Comic-Con, this San Diego Comic-Con, there was a bunch of cosplayers that after they were done, they shut down or whatever, they went and they walked and joined the fucking picket line with the fucking SAG AFTRA people protesting, and I'm like, what the fuck? You guys aren't even signed. Like you're sitting there, you're taking pictures, you're fucking, hell no, we won't go, and all this other dumb shit, and you're not even a part of the union. You're not getting paid. You're not even SAG AFTRA. What the fuck you doing?
Well, they even went out there and say, hey, if you guys want to, you fans of us want to come out and protest with us, you can come out and protest with us. Well, who wouldn't want to go out there and walk along with the stars that they idolize?
That's part of it. And I mean, it's another thing for all these cases, including my man Mike Massa, is clout, man. You get that internet clout, and everyone knows you now. Everyone looks on Instagram, and man, this guy has been he's Starship Troopers. He's done a lot of stunts, either as a stunt man or a stunt coordinator. So he's made his money off Hollywood. I'm sure he's doing.
Oh, absolutely. Hell, he's got 6 listings for second unit and or assistant director.
Oh, yeah, he's doing okay.
He's doing just fine.
Right. But it's the clout,
right?
But he's coming out and saying, "Hey, look, I was standing up for you guys. Don't be mad at me when remember me when we start this all up again."
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, he doesn't. The funny thing is, as a stunt guy, I'm sure he's not necessarily worried about when everything supposedly gets back to normal.
Right.
Because as a stunt guy, you're always going to be in demand when it comes to action movies.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's got a hell of a career going on. He's got a lot of experience.
Yeah. He'll be fine regardless. He's gonna be one of the few. He'll be better off before the actors will, because you're gonna need a guy like him to produce the fucking movie. Even just like I said, a lot of it's direction, stunt coordination, and stunt doubling. So you could throw him off of a roof, or teach somebody how to throw somebody off a roof. You know what I mean? Or have him film it right,
or frame the scene correctly.
He's important. He's one of the few people we do need to make a lot of these movies. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this is clout in the cause.
Man,
and that's crazy about the cosplayers. That's so crazy.
Yeah. Actually, you can look that up, man. Like this just happened. Fucking cosplayers are sitting there, fucking taking pictures in the fucking picket line. I'm like, you guys got nothing to do with this shit,
right?
Like, what the fuck what are y'all like? This is like, damn.
Hero worship, that's what it is.
Yep.
Look at us, we love you.
And then it's like basically, like where I looked at the picture, you could see people holding the fucking picket signs and all kinds of shit. Then you see the cosplayers. One guy standing in the front, he's Black Captain America, like Falcon Captain America. Yeah, it's black dude, and he's standing in the front, and everybody's taking pictures. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, man, this shit looks bad, man. And I was like, this is crazy. Bambi. So you got that going on. Then you got this dude doing this, and it's like, but see, the thing is, I've never seen nobody take something like this. Is just a acting and writers. Of course, this is a money thing, but somebody to fucking burn themselves. I mean, yeah, he's a stunt dude, but to take it this far, it's like, I've never seen that. I've never heard of that, man. So I was like, fuck it, and nobody's talking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, yeah. Let's talk about this shit. Like, this is not normal to me, man.
It's not, but part of it is because it's shocking. Part of it is because we're in the Instagram era. We're in the TikTok era. We're in the social media era. So like,
Yeah,
if you set yourself on fire for the cause, you know what I'm saying?
everybody gonna take pictures,
Right.
video. People gonna see that, and they gonna spread it, share it.
Yep.
But like New Bob said too, this is just one of the and don't get me wrong, cheap tricks that they do, you know, because they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for how many years, and it's just like when I was doing live steel combat. You know, we're going out there with real steel blades, battling each other, and everybody thought we were insane. But it's like, no, we have moves. Yes, it's not, you know, it's not pre-planned on who's going to be the winner or what, but we do have specific moves that we have to make, so it's safe. A lot better than the people that were going out with rattan sticks that were literally beating themselves with broken bones and bruises. I think the worst that we had was the one guy that was in our group, he broke his finger, and that was horrible because he's a writer. You know?
Oh, jeez.
But the thing is, it looks dangerous, and it can be dangerous if you're not careful. But again, this is like secondhand now. That him walking out there on fire like that is nothing.
Right. He's probably been on fire. Yeah. Right. Like if you say, okay, he's got 130 stunt credits. Out of those 130, he's probably been on fire 50 or more.
At least, well, and that's just it. He might be Harrison Ford's stunt man, but he will also be a stunt man for other people on that.
Oh, he's done. Yeah. 130 movies.
Film.
Yeah, 130 movies covers far more than Harrison Ford.
Yeah, movies and TV shows.
But like in the Dial of Colostomy Bag here, he might have been doing Harrison Ford stunt work, but we need someone, we need you to do this guy as well here. Harrison's going to shoot you because you're the bad guy.
Yep.
So he's, inside that movie, he's got several things he's doing. So definitely, it's like constantly. It's just, if you want to risk having broken bones and such, because unfortunately stunts do go awry.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, was it the second Deadpool movie? We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what happened to the second Deadpool movie?
The female stunt person for Zazie Beetz.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where she's on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
There was an accident while filming, and she ended up going through like a storefront.
Oh, geez.
And died. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yep.
I did hear this. Yes, messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it happens.
Somebody died on the Dark Knight too.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Version.
Yeah. I mean, there's a car crash. I think a few car crashes that took out stunt people, and
it's a weird thing. Like the most inane thing could kill somebody. And on the next movie, that same or even worse could happen, and the person walks away. Like it's all about what happens in the moment. Because hell, like I can remember watching a documentary on some of the. Well, it was basically on Mad Max, the first Mad Max movie, and one of the stunt guys. The scene where they're chasing at the very beginning, where they're chasing the guy, and he keeps yelling "Night Rider!" No, the Night Rider. They end up rolling the car.
Yeah,
and it was a bad roll. Like it went all kinds of sideways. Yeah, and when it finally came to rest, the dude just hopped out and was like, "How's that?" And they were like, "Works for us." But like, if you watch the scene, it's like, Jesus Christ, how did anybody survive that?
Yeah, I mean, both that and Road Warrior. I mean, just some of the stunts those guys were doing. It's like, how did they live? This is the age of no CGI. They're prepared. They know what they're doing, but they know how to make it look impressive.
Well, and on top of that, it's like you could get away with it a little more in the second movie because those cars were so far-fetched to begin with that you could build it in a way that would be safe and not look awkward in the movie. Whereas the first one was using just straight up regular cars, Australian cars, but regular cars nonetheless.
Yeah, Falcons and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Holden Monaros. In fact, the one that rolls is a Monaro.
Oh, right. Okay. It was Holden.
Yeah, it was Holden.
It's been a while.
They were chasing him in Falcons, but he was driving a Monaro. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, So is what's the name of the stunt man? Massa?
Massa.
Massa.
M-A-S-S-A.
All right. So did they say what was going on with him other than what we just found out?
Well, that was it. So Harrison Ford stunt performer is fresh off of starring in Indiana Jones. He's a union board member for the stunt and advocate for works that stunt actors too. Okay, that's nice. During a protest last week, he set himself on fire. We are tired of being burned by the AMPTP, Mike Massa wrote in an Instagram post shared by Elena Sanchez. And there he is. You know, like, there he goes.
What's the AMTP?
Firepower.
AMPTP? I don't know what that is.
You know, let me roll up here. I think it might say in the beginning here.
Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So
damn,
that's cool. And there's that picture. You can see the guy right there with the, ready to put him out as he's doing the flame power.
Fight the power.
Oh,
flame power.
Goodness.
Fight the power. That's V.
Firepower. Firepower.
Yeah, flame on.
Elvis was a hero to most.
I wasn't expecting the first lyrics to come in.
And they had their little sign down here, Stunts Unlimited. So yeah, I mean,
the
flames began on his legs and rose to the back of his torso and arms before being extinguished. Normal. The flames heard around the world. Mike Massa's effort has garnered.
Yeah, they're making a lot.
We're covering it.
Yeah, they are.
Our reach isn't quite that far. Thank you, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Mike Massa's effort has garnered the protest of a few more articles of publicity by drawing attention to the work that stunt performers put themselves through during an average day on set. In addition to working with as Harrison Ford's stunt double in Indy 5, Mike Massa also worked on Stranger Things, Fast and Furious franchise, Blade Runner 2049, Star Trek, and The Italian Job. And there he is. There he is right now. No, the protest happened on Monday, July 24th. There's a guy they could do that with. And the following day, Mike Massa thanked his fellow stunt crew for their assistance with the stunt. He posted the message: "We wanted to make
Notice how they typed that? He thanked his fellow stunt crew for their assistance with the ... stunt. Like it's almost like they didn't want to say it was a stunt. Like,
yep,
we have to say it,
but it was. Yeah, I mean,
it would absolutely.
It doesn't upset me or it doesn't inspire me. It's just like, yeah, typical. That's what they do. It's part of the game. We wanted to make a statement, and I think we did. It was great to see such a great turnout from our local stunt community, and that's it. And then of course, there's Roofy out there with his little fingers up. And I'm sorry, I never liked him as Bruce Banner.
Well, and it's funny too because this article has nothing to do with Ruffalo,
right?
Other than the strike,
right?
Like, why post his image there?
Yeah,
I don't even want
the guy.
Yeah, they need to have ruffle chips in there, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, then they got this Plexar animation. It's like, yeah, we got a flaming person, yippee skippy. Flames roared around the world, but yeah, you can understand this one. I can understand that because he worked on that film. And of course, there's the two warriors, Fran Drescher, and
they said she has some position. What did they say she was?
She's the
president.
Yeah,
she's the president. Yeah.
How the fuck is Fran Drescher the president?
That's not uncommon, actually.
Not at all.
Prior to her, it's always been an actor.
Well, I mean,
Ronald Reagan was the president at one time of this.
Yeah, he was, and so was that
the president of the basketball union for the longest time been Chris Paul, right? He's one of the better players in the league. Obviously, he's fallen off the past couple of years because he's older, but for the longest time, one of the top players. I wouldn't put Fran Drescher. You know what I'm saying? The nanny was cool in the '90s and shit, but like,
I don't think it's based on her acting credentials.
Clearly,
I've never. I mean, I've seen her in interviews. I've never met the person. I'm guessing she's held it for a while, so she must have some business skills.
She must know who the where the bodies are buried, and maybe we got a few buried herself.
No, not necessarily. It's like who does the right talk, and they figure has the best acumen to be able to do that. I mean, what was it?
Typical of any union head.
Yeah, and I don't know. She might have a law degree outside of this. Like, oh well, yeah, she's a lawyer, so yeah, you should have her there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. She might have other credentials that add with it, but it's just weird that like a G-list actor is the president. Like, okay, well, sure.
Well, yeah. What else is she doing?
Well,
because Kathy Griffin was busy, so you got her. I mean, cool.
Well, I mean, Ronald Reagan in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, Ronald Reagan as an actor, he wasn't really shit. He wasn't even a good actor at all, but he was the president. So, you know, the fact that maybe, you know, a top-notch person might not have, you know, it might not be to their advantage, or, you know, basically it might be too much for them to do it, depending on, you know, where they're at with it. But then a person with more time on their hands that can actually do the job more effective can actually
actually commit to it. Yeah,
right.
Well, just to let you know, the 26th president of the Screen Actors Guild was Melissa Gilbert. Before she preceded, the person that was in there before her was William Daniels, and then Alan Rosenberg succeeded her in the position of the president. So, I mean,
it bounces all over.
Yeah, it does.
Because I don't think whatever his name was, the one that came after her, was an actual actor.
Well, yeah, he's an American actor who portrayed the character of Levi Levinson in both the series Civil War and the popular L.A. Law from 2005 to 2009. So yeah, yeah, exactly.
Another
Right? Yeah, it's like, and you are, yeah.
And being mid in Hollywood has its perks, apparently.
Well, yeah, it does. I mean, I'm just trying to see if I can get a list of the presidents and stuff like that on that one.
Well, I can't imagine that job is necessarily a cakewalk.
No, especially at a time like this. I mean,
well, yeah.
See, the first president was Ralph Morgan. Eddie Cantor took over after that. Robert Montgomery. Jesus. Yeah, that was 33 to 35. Robert Montgomery, Ralph Morgan again, Edward Arnold, James Cagney from 42 to 44, George Murphy, Robert Montgomery again, Ronald Reagan from 47 to 52, Walter Pidgeon, 52 to 57, Leon Ames, Howard Keel from 58 to 59, Ronald Reagan again, 59 to 60, George Chandler, Dana Andrews, Charlton Heston from 65 to 71, John Gavin, Dennis Weaver from 73 to 75, Kathleen Nolan, William Shallert, Ed Asner was there from 81 to 85, Patty Duke, 85 to 88, Barry Gordon, he was the longest serving to date. He was from 88 to 95. Richard Mauser, William Daniels, Melissa Gilbert, Alan Rosenberg, Ken Howard, Gabriel Carteris, and then there's Fran Drescher. So that's the list of all your wonderful presidents.
Okay. So historically, they haven't been top actors; they've just been people.
Right.
Well, I mean, there's some big names in there. Eddie Cantor and
about a handful. Yeah, there was a handful.
Yeah, I mean, like William Daniels, a hard-working actor. Patty Duke, Ed Asner.
Right.
Yeah. Dennis Weaver. I mean, Charlton Heston. I mean, yeah. There's some.
There's been some,
there,
but
a lot that aren't.
Yeah, seems like it's a little bit more that aren't than ours. Okay, so she's like in the smack. She's in the middle, I guess.
Well, she really hasn't done much, though.
Yeah,
not lately. Yeah.
Good luck, guys. I that's all I can say for you guys. I don't know what to tell the actors or the writers. Hollywood is failing. You guys absolutely made this bed, so good luck sleeping in it.
Yep.
But hey, as we mentioned, there's still going to be some hero worshipers. There's still going to be some people that support you and say, hey,
Well, and one of the things that people suddenly stopped talking about when this all blew up was the CGI animators that weren't
right,
that were complaining about not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of launched all of this, and people just forgot about it and went, oh, actors, and writers, well, these fucking CGI artists, who I'm assuming are part of the union, we're just kind of like, yeah, we don't need to talk about you because you're not in front of the camera.
right. And they do the most work nowadays. Now,
Mhm.
as I argued last week, they should do less of it because we need to get back to practical. But and they're getting shafted similar to individuals in the game industry. They're getting overworked and underpaid and not paid for their overtime, not even paid for some of their work. It's a lot of madness going on with CG artists and developers.
There's
this is a mess.
There's a documentary out there about the guy who worked on the first Jurassic Park. Like basically him and one other guy were the two guys who created the ability to use a skeletal form on a computer to animate these creatures, the dinosaurs. And right, just absolutely groundbreaking work. But because he was a bit of a rebel, so to speak, didn't work well within the structure of Hollywood, they flat shunned his ass and he was gone. And it's a whole story about him and this other guy were basically the origins beyond like the guys who worked on Tron, because this was, obviously after Tron, but like they were the origins of what would be considered modern CGI. And that guy is off, like he was from Canada originally, came down to work. He's off in somewhere else in the US, like just shunned completely. And it's fucked up because they chewed him up and spit him out.
That's what Hollywood does.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not too sad to see it go. I really don't think it's as necessary a component to the entertainment industry, especially over the next 10 years. We talked about with the toy thing earlier. I mentioned that, kids, what are they looking at? They're looking at TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. Well, me and you are all on YouTube right at this moment doing this show. You know what I'm saying? Regular people fill that void. And yeah, you do need skill. You do need to develop skill. You need to obviously marketing and all this other stuff. But that void is being filled by regular people and or people with maybe an expertise on a specific subject who are able to film it. So it doesn't necessarily need actors and writers and the Hollywood machine. We don't need the Hollywood machine to find entertainment anymore. This is still a part of it, but more and more entertainment is created independently. Even video games, there's a lot of independent games. So they don't have the same stranglehold over creativity and entertainment as they used to. And we're seeing this is a kind of a result of it. Now the money's fucked up because we're in a state, we already know that the execs and the corporals, they don't really have the money to pay these guys. You know what I'm saying? We know they're failing. ESPN covered that. ESPN firing everyone. That's Disney. You know what I'm saying? These companies are in shambles to be going through this strike, and it's just like, okay, this is going to be a death blow long term. Especially because the last strike was already so disastrous long term. I mean, this is going to be a real kick, no pun intended, to the teeth of the entertainment industry long term.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Will they be able to come back from this? I mean, that last strike they had really hurt them. The big problem is they have all these channels, all these hours that they have to fill, which means instead of having the cream of the crop actors and writers going out there and do it, they're having to go to the bottom of the barrel, which are these blue-haired land whale types who want to come in there.
They chose to go to the bottom of the barrel because they were not necessarily just because they were cheaper, but because they thought or think the right way.
Well, yeah.
That wasn't forced on anybody. That was them purposefully going to the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, I'm not saying it was forced on them, but it was like it opened the doors more for them.
Yeah.
Because, obviously the more established ones Now
Right.
they're able to come in on the crumbs because they have to fill up all these hours. And now as the upper ones start dropping down, these blue-haired ones are coming up, and they're the ones that are causing a lot of the problems with our entertainment.
I think
They're
it
not.
might be a. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Finish your
Oh
point.
no, I mean that was basically it.
I think it might be a little bit of a combo of both, and then part of that is because I did the Culture Crime Fires, my man Matt, Fireball Production. There's definitely a culture. You definitely have to. You do get it a little bit forced on you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got to think the right way. What are you doing out here in Hollywood? How'd you get through? So there is a culture that pushes it on you. And I'm thinking of a show we did back before he blew up. Clifton Duncan was on our show, and he said, you know, he was talking about his acting, some of his acting friends, and they said, you know, it's too many motherfuckers working because at that point you had all the networks, like you said, got 24 hours to fill with all these networks, plus all the streaming services, and they have infinite time to fill times all these streaming services. Like, man, there's just too many amateurs. That was the point being made. There's too many amateurs out here working who really shouldn't even have jobs. So there's a little bit of, I mean, obviously there was an ideological decision, but because of that decision, people who maybe wouldn't have went along did have to go along to get along, did have to add a LGBTQ character to their show. Shit, we can't even watch people argue at the Barbie movie without having an LGBTQ plus character. So there was definitely
bound to happen.
No, but there was definitely a little bit of a push, and some people kind of got their arm twisted into the woke culture.
Shit, yeah. Well, damn. Boy. I tell you what, man. That's I'm just glad that we're taking one giant leap for mankind. And no, I'm just fucking.
We will own this platform, all of us, all four of us. We're going to own this platform. I tell you what. Watch out, everybody. Oh, come on, don't be. With the ever mysterious Vigilante Williamson, come on, we can do it.
Actually, I agree on your takes on this. This is crazy, man.
Yeah, I think.
I know.
Well, sorry.
No, go for it. No, go for it, brother.
Like the ESPN thing that Bitch brought up, I'm surprised that lasted as long as it did. I fully expected them to start cutting people, 10 years ago.
Yeah,
and they did a little bit, but not to the extent that they just did.
You know what though? It took a while for people to finally stop paying for ESPN. I think there was and there still is such a sports addiction. It really took, if it wasn't for YouTube and some of the content creators, that's why they ended up hiring Pat McAfee, right? You have all these huge content creators in the sports space that are independent. I think a lot of people still would be signed up to ESPN, but it took that had to rise up because people were so addicted to going to Sports Center and going to even once they hated it, even once it was Jamel Hill and all that other shit, they would hate watching because they just, I need my sports fix. And it took until other people outside of the ESPN bubble started to rise up for people to finally hit cancel for ESPN. Because now they're at, they were at 100 million subscribers 10 years ago. They're at 75 million now.
Was it when you had like NFL on their own network start to like, we don't need you anymore. We've got our own thing. Too. Same thing with NHL. They've got their own shows now that they produce that you're only going to get that content. So someone who only cares. Well, yeah, but I mean, like for somebody like me who cares more about like hockey games or football games, I don't care about college basketball. I don't care about college snowboarding or Olympics or like all this other crap that they decide to put on the show and effectively transsexual tennis. Yes. Where it pulls the major sports out to put this goofy shit in, and nobody gave a shit. Like, I stopped watching ESPN when they had their little tiff with the NHL and decided to cancel the contract. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
That was like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And they canceled the contract with NHL, so they weren't showing any hockey.
That sucked, honestly.
And they got petty, because even if so you're not showing, what was it, the Sunday night games or the Saturday afternoon games or whatever they had. They stopped putting NHL content unless they absolutely had to into the highlight shows.
Yeah.
Unless it was just like some ridiculously off the cuff play that happened that they, this is plays of the week, so we have to put it in there. Otherwise, you got zero coverage of hockey. And they were so petty about it. It was like, all right, well, I'm not going to watch you then. Like, I'll find it elsewhere.
Yeah. And shit, I remember when the MLB network came out, that felt like such a breath of fresh air, because it was like, oh, there are other teams outside the Yankees and Red Sox? Really? It's so nice to hear about other people's bullpens and other teams who they might have in their AAA system that might be coming up. And it's not just Yankees, Red Sox plus top free agents. Like, there's other stuff going on in baseball. Really? Thank goodness. It felt like I remember watching, like, oh man, this is so dope to actually get some baseball coverage that isn't just Yankees, Red Sox, Yankees.
Right.
Even when they're bad. Even sometimes they're bad. Yeah, sometimes the devil. It just makes the AL East. That's the only division that matters.
Right.
Like, stop. Other teams matter. Not to go Patrice Kelly. Go ahead.
I was talking to somebody else. I may have been you. We were talking about like the Yankees and like how over the course of their existence, dating all the way back to the turn of the previous century,
right?
Like, they've only had a handful of losing seasons.
Yeah,
out of like 100 seasons, they've had like 5.
They have way more championships than they have losing seasons. In fact, they have almost at one point they had a quarter of the championships that had happened over 100 years. Yeah, or had ever been played. Whatever.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Unreal. That's why, as much as I love sports, I still operate like I'm watching pro wrestling, because there's no way that sort of thing can happen naturally. Like, there's no way. I mean, it is. Yeah, I mean, it isn't.
Like, Steinbrenner was so against a cap.
Yeah,
and you know why? Because he would spend ridiculous amounts of money on teams just to make sure that they won.
Right.
Like, when you don't have restrictions like that, that's what you end up with is, 20 or 30 year dynasties.
Unreal. Unreal. Yeah, every era of baseball they have championship teams pretty much. Except I think the 80s is the only decade they don't, or one of a few.
Yeah, and they still had winning seasons. They just didn't have championships.
They're still really good.
Right.
After Dave Winfield, all those guys.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think about that. And it even puts perspective on, as much as I hate this team, the Patriots. And the run that they had with Brady, like in a cap era league. Like, to keep going and effectively have Tom Brady and a bunch of on the team. And that's all it was. It was these journeyman players and like grunt workers, basically, that just put the time in.
Some of those defenses were cool. They will put more money on some of the wide receiver core that he had. He got probably more done with less than maybe any quarterback of all time.
Oh, yeah. But even if you look at those great defenses, like, you could name maybe 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them are just meh. Yeah. Whereas you look at like Baltimore's defense, and you could name like half the defense, starting defense. Right. You just go through all of these players and just be like, this was the best at that position. This was the best at that position. Like,
we got 2 rings the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, that was a pretty impressive run of Patriots when you really think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
they did a lot of cheating. So
Yeah.
there's that.
What's up, Glenser? He says, "Come on now, it's not always Yankees, Red Sox on ESPN. Right now,
Yankees, Orioles.
it's Yankees,
Yankees,
Orioles.
Orioles.
AL
right.
East.
Yeah.
AL East is the only division that matters. Doesn't
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
only
and
division.
it explains where they're at. I mean, ESPN has always been in what, Hartford, Connecticut?
Or is it Bristol?
So-
I think it's Bristol. One of those
Bristol. Yeah. Okay.
both. Big campus.
It's very indicative of the location versus what they specifically like put out there. It's always East Coast, East Coast, East Coast. Rarely ever talk about the West Coast. In fact, even with football, Berman was the only one that would ever go, all right, I want a Buffalo Bills San Francisco Super Bowl. God damn it. I'm going to have it before I die. And he had that jacket made that was one half Buffalo Bills, one half San Francisco. And it never happened.
That's still crazy that it never happened because they went to combine like 8 Super Bowls over 8 years and it never lined up.
Yeah, no. Yeah, because they kept failing against the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. Did they go to the year after Buffalo ended his run?
I think so, yeah.
With
what year was that?
94. 93 or 94. I can't remember. But it's Steve Young, take the monkey off my back. They had a
I think that was 94, yeah.
They had Deion Sanders and a couple other guys on defense, and obviously Jerry Rice, Steve Young, and they had a great team.
Wow. Yes, the ever young Steve Young and the ever young Jerry Rice. That motherfucker was like, what, 38, and they had a video of him like running the steps in the stadium, like from first row all the way up to the top, and then he'd go across and come back down the other side.
Sheesh.
And he was like 38 or 39.
And I don't think guys just like that hard now.
That's insane. Like even back then, that was insane.
Yeah,
like he was an alien compared to every other receiver, and we've only seen like a handful of receivers like that since.
Yeah, they'll try to. That's another thing. I know now I'm taking over sports coverage, but they try to sell you. ESPN is always trying to sell you that the current guy is greater than the past, no matter what the case is. So they'll try to tell you DK Metcalf is like, oh, he's the greatest, or some of these receivers, right? Whatever. They're just so much better. They're bigger, faster, stronger. They're everything compared to the older guys. And I'm like, I'm not sold on that, man. Some of these guys might be. You had your Calvin Johnsons. There's guys that come along and like, oh man, he's incredible. But I don't think every guy. Odell Beckham, case in point. When he first came out, and he did the little catch, and they tried to sell him like he was the greatest guy ever. And I'm like, you know what? He was a solid receiver.
It was just a flash. It was one moment that they hung on to, yeah.
They really, they get into the habit
because
of
look at him now. Where is he? Where did he even go? He was in Cleveland for a bit.
In Cleveland, and he got that trade to LA when they won. And I don't know where he is right now.
I don't even know. Yeah.
I don't know offhand. Shout out to the Orioles whooping on the Yankees. Good. Screw the Yankees. Just because they did nothing to me, but just screw them. Just for being great all the time.
Man,
how dare you?
Yeah, and getting not to go back to sports, but no, because the thing that always irritates me is especially with the running backs too, because it's the same thing with running backs. It's like X running back now is better than everything that came before him. And I'm like, I lived through Barry Sanders, and I know he didn't end up with any specific record. But kiss my ass, that motherfucker was so unstoppable. If he had even remotely half of Dallas's front line, he would have just been ridiculous. He would have set a record nobody would have ever reached.
If he had a competent offensive line, he would have been much. Or a quarterback. It'd been nice to not have to key in on Barry every single play, and he's still getting 1,500 yards, running backwards half the damn play before he goes forward.
He ran 3,000 to get 1,500.
Yes, yeah. He does have like a bunch of negative yardage too. I forgot it was like a season's worth of negative yardage, legitimately. Because sometimes they do actually catch him, especially some of them old defenses. Fucking Buck when the Bucks went on division back when I was a kid, they used to fuck us up.
You're talking the creamsicle Bucks.
Well, no, but they started to get good. It was when they first got out of them, like in the late '90s. This is toward the end of Barry's career, and
when they went to the pewter.
This is the Warren Sapp rookie year.
Yeah,
that's when they started to actually get good, and they used to. It's like they're already in the backfield, guys. How is he supposed to do anything? Like, as soon as the ball snapped, the play's over. So yeah, but they did that with another New York guy. Maybe this is a trend. Saquon Barkley. They tried to tell us, oh man, he's the best we've ever seen.
Right?
He's good, the best ever. Come on, again, guys come out. Adrian Peterson was great. Beast mode. That's still the crazy. Again, what was sports? Still the worst play, and you can't tell me sports aren't rigged that you don't give the ball to
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. Don't give the ball to Marshawn Lynch on the one to win the Super Bowl. That's what made me think that was like, oh no, sports are rigged. I'm no longer because there's no amount of hatred for someone that justifies that. Oh, we didn't want him to get the MVP. I don't care. It's the Super Bowl.
All right, but you want a ring, right? At the end of the day, right? You want that ring.
So,
I think I don't know. I mean, that was what upset me the most with him was when you look at his career. Like he started in Buffalo and did well, but again, it was a team that didn't have a line.
Yeah.
So he was having to do a lot more than he needed to do in Seattle. So once he gets to Seattle, now it's beast mode. It's like, motherfucker, he's beast mode in Buffalo. Problem was he had to be.
Mm-hmm. He probably was a little better. Well, he was good at both, honestly. But like you say, he didn't have a line. Even though Buffalo had a run of having really good running backs with no other team around him. In that era. And he was another one. And then,
no quarterback whatsoever.
None. No quarter. Now they obviously got a quarterback. They got a good team. But for years, they didn't have anything. He goes to Seattle, and I get it. He didn't like the media or whatever, and the fines and the Skittles, and okay. And I get, okay, you may not want him to have the MVP, but you don't. How do you throw the ball at the one on, was it second down?
Yeah.
Just run the ball. They could have, if they would have ran it all 3 times and still got stopped, it would be easier to live with.
It'd be more respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe he should have thrown it on 4th down, not on 2nd. If that was on 4th down, it'd be different. Like, oh man, you know what? They stopped them. They tried something on 4th down. It just happened how it happened. But to do that on 2nd down is just like, and I know somebody who doesn't know what sports ball is, and it's like, this doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. It's a coach being very, very stupid, where he has an easy chance to win the championship, but does something different to spite a player because he doesn't want that player to look good, even though that's the most logical thing to do. Right. And this is a good point, Glenzer, because this is hurting running backs because they don't get paid because everything is about throwing the ball. The NFL, and this is why I don't watch the NFL anymore. They have changed the rules and such. And we saw the last Super Bowl end on a pass interference. So this is how crazy the rules are, or holding. You can't do anything to the receiver from the, defensively, or really the quarterback, because you used to be able to hit. There was roughly the passer, but you had like a grace period before that happened. So if you hit them right after they threw the ball, you were okay. You're not anymore.
Now you can't. Do anything. You can't even brush against them.
Yeah, and if you accidentally touch their helmet, it's a penalty. So, and I'm not joking.
I will say this. There were a number of what people thought were late hits that did not get flagged and did not get penalized even after the game, fines or whatever. Like a lot of people complained about the shove that Matt Milano did on Tua, which gave him his first concussion that they said wasn't a concussion. Like, motherfucker was warbling around like he had just been on fucking acid. Like, no, that dude got a concussion, and they're like, "Oh, it's his back."
Fuck out of here.
Right?
Yeah, they
like,
always do that
dude's
with
all
Tua.
like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Tua, is he still trying to play?
"Oh
I
yeah,
think he should
he's
probably.
back. He's gonna play again."
That's gonna end up sad in years because I don't think he's built to be taking these type of hits. It's still a tough game. Don't get me wrong, but they've done so much to inflate the numbers and inflate the offense, especially the passing offense. It's just a different game than the one I grew up with. I'm not trying to see it. I'm not trying to see it be a blood sport either. But some level, there's
What's
something.
wrong with blood sports? I'm rooting for it. I'm hoping the strike turns into one.
Yeah, I got to ask Glenzer on this one. What 5'10" quarterback do you know of?
Yeah, ain't too many. Russell, we just mentioned aforementioned Russell Wilson. He's still around.
Yeah, he's at least 6 foot, isn't he?
He's 5'10". I don't know what they list him as, but he's not 6 feet.
And
I don't know how tall.
What's the Arizona quarterback?
Kyler Murray. He's another one that's shorter.
He's tiny.
There's a few shorter. Yeah, Kyler Murray. Yeah. There's a few shorter ones. And you know what? There is something to that because Big Ben and and Cam would never get roughing the passer. Like they could get killed.
But they also take the hit a lot better as well.
Yeah. But they because they were bigger guys, they just never, it just didn't matter. And I mean, that's it played into both of their play styles in different ways. But it's also was like, man, that's
you can see it. You can see it with the Bills too. Like Josh Allen is a big dude.
Yep.
And can shrug off most of the hits he takes. But then when you get to are you going to follow the written rule or not? A hand comes and smacks him in the head and no flag is thrown because he's 6-something and, 250 pounds or whatever.
Especially his early years with some of those runs, he probably should have been flagged as the runner because he would lean his helmet down a couple times. This is the quarterback. And it was a couple plays, it's like, not his rookie, but his first couple years starting. And I'm like, man, they should probably throw the flag on him because he's running like a crazy man. He would just go
running dudes over. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, granted, I don't think that should be a flag either. But again, I get it. You don't want to see Earl Campbell's. Yeah, Drew Brees years ago. He was a shorter guy. There's been some shorter guys. Everybody remember Doug Flutie back in the days.
Oh, yeah.
But again, look at, other than Brees, you talk about Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie had success in the Canadian Football League.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But didn't have great success in NFL. Yeah. Kyler Murray, jury's still out on that one, I guess.
But he did have Flutie Flakes.
Yeah, I'm about to say you eating the Flutie Flakes.
He was kind of one of those iconic guys. He wasn't that great, but he was just a part of the NFL zeitgeist. Everyone just liked Doug Flutie.
Yeah, he was a little guy you root for.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. And of course, his other half, the other quarterback that was on the team, was Rob Johnson, and that wasn't getting us anywhere either. So you're like, go with Flutie. It's like him.
I think they probably should have started Flutie over Rob Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just difficult to watch some of those games looking back at 2020 vision, like that motherfucker couldn't see over the line.
Yeah, just the stuff. I mean, part of it is everybody has so much more knowledge on how to play and coach football now, and stuff that if you watch an old game, they do something like, wait, you're not supposed to do that. It's like,
I mean, their whole offensive line scheme was effectively to open gaping holes so that he could see through the line to throw the ball. I'm not shitting you. If you ever catch any replay and they do the back then it was hit or miss whether they had the hovering camera over top or not. But if you catch a replay where the camera's behind him, you can see the holes opening up so that he could throw through them. And that was their whole game plan.
That's insane.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, speaking of weird quarterbacks, one that I can remember watching as a kid, the Cleveland quarterback, Bernie Kosar, before he went on to other places. But his throw was almost like somebody throwing a shot put. Like, it was the weirdest fucking thing because it was way off to the side. It wasn't like a typical arm throw where you go over your head and follow through, or off to the side and follow through. He was like 90 degrees sideways and flicking it out of his arm that way. It was like, Jesus.
You would never teach someone to throw. I was going to joke that if you guys remember earlier, the guy, I keep calling Ezra Miller, he threw kind of how you would imagine he throws, but it actually worked.
Right.
Is the best way to describe
Sort
it.
of.
He throws it like in this weird, like you said, 90-degree angle off to the side and flip. Like, that's not how you throw a football. That's not how any modern
horrible
coach
mechanics
would teach you. They would force you to not do that. Even if your mechanics are slightly off, they might deal with. But something like that, they would teach you out of it. And they didn't back then because there was no, even when I went to high school, there was no real coach. Like, the coaches didn't know shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, by the time you didn't, in high schools, in colleges, unless they were like the academies and the high level stuff, and I said even the colleges, you go to a mid-major college, you're not dealing with like actual coaches. You're dealing with gym teachers at best. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. So his mechanics were messed up from the get-go.
Completely.
And by the time he got to college, he had gotten accustomed to throwing that way, so he was pretty successful as a college quarterback. And again, the college game is very different than the pro game, and that's kind of why when he got to the NFL, it was like, really not working all that well.
Yeah.
But yeah, because he was a good college. How many college quarterbacks have there been that were like, oh my God, Heisman Trophy? Mm-hmm. And then they get to the NFL and it's like,
totally different. I've gotten shocked the past few years. We've had some Heisman trophies, like Joe Burrow actually be good. You know what I mean? And what's Trevor Lawrence actually be good? A few of these guys. Because I'm so used to them becoming bust. I am so used to Jamarcus Russells and Vince Youngs. And seriously, or what's Matt Leinart's? These guys that
Ryan Leaf.
Ooh. Ryan Leaf, who had an arm, by the way.
Oh, and no, he was a good player. He was just a horrible person off the field.
He's a psycho. He's a legit drug addict. I think he's recovered, but
he does commentary for college football now.
He's failed with recovery a couple of times. You know what I mean? I know that Mahomes doesn't have the most traditional thing, but he had almost
no. But I will say this about Mahomes: a lot of the unique throws are improvisation, not bad mechanics per se.
Yeah. Even though I'm not the biggest fan after some recent stuff, and a lot of people weren't a fan of the guy, how he ended his career, Mahomes to me just seems like he's Brett Favre, but because of the rules, he could do a lot. He's getting tons of yardage, and he's not getting hit as much and not throwing as many picks because the rule set allows him to do more, basically.
Right, and at the end of the day, it's still a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
So Mahomes, like if you take Mahomes and put him in a place that doesn't have a Travis Kelce, for the longest time didn't have the one that's in, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like you take a lot of those factors out and his improvisation goes into the dirt.
Yeah. Even because this is his second year without Tyreek, right? Because I feel like his first year wasn't that great. Like he had to get used to, I can't just sling the ball a million yards away and some guy's going to catch it. Like Tyreek is special. He's a receiver that's all-time special. But some of these guys, they just like, he's not him. But you're right. He definitely had an infrastructure. They had a couple receivers when he first started, right? Was Tyreek? Who was the other receiver?
I couldn't even tell you off the top of it. The other one's still there, I think.
Yeah, and I can't think.
The number 2 receiver. Because they had brought in Stevie Johnson as the third receiver, and never used him or barely used him.
And then they had a nice. He walked into a nice system that allowed him to do a lot of that crazy stuff. Oh, yeah. Not that it's not still impressive. This, the no look passes and stuff. That is pretty impressive.
But if you're on a shitty team, that no look ends up going the other direction.
Yeah. And you're not wrong, Glenn, about the pay. Like, because I don't think Daniel Jones. I mean, people like
no.
again because he's New York. He's in New York, but Saquon's
Right.
probably even though I kind of shit on him a little. He's definitely more valuable.
It's hard to use New York.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, because they just gave. Was it the Jets just gave Rodgers this massive contract? I guess.
Yeah. History repeats itself. New York buys the. Yeah. They literally are doing the same thing they did last time.
Yep.
I guess in 20 years, what's the quarterback they have replacing them in Green Bay?
Oh, it's the one that's been on the roster. And
yeah, it's his name. Jordan Love, is that the guy?
Yeah.
I guess in 20 years, the Jets can sign him. You know, if
he's been there a while too.
Yep.
Like
just like Aaron Rodgers was under Brett Favre. Remember, he was there 3 or 4 years before maybe even longer than that. If they do that shit again, then you can't tell me the NFL is not rigged. Because how can the same story keep fucking happening? The same story. The Vikings, wow, they're the only team that scored a touchdown for the other team.
Yeah, that was way back. What?
Yes.
Early 60s?
Oh, so that's one of
late 50s, something like that. Yeah, it was a fumble, and the guy picked that up and ran the wrong direction.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, I have seen that play.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all of his teammates are like, "What are you doing? Stop!"
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Sports Center is over, guys. I want to thank you. We'll have NFL tonight or right after.
No, it's all good.
We did way better than Sports Center.
You're right,
man.
We talked about other teams.
Yeah. we didn't talk about politics for the whole time.
Right.
Like ESPN. We didn't complain that the WNBA is not making enough money.
No. In fact, we didn't even mention them.
Until now. Good job, guys.
Well,
Sean Payton, Russell, Denver, Robert Saleh, and Aaron Rodgers. The AFC is going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting year. Hey, if you actually do want to hear sports coverage, I do cover sports on Vigilante Wins and Vengeance. And I probably will cover the NFL. And I part of me, I got to get back into it because I haven't been hardcore doing it. But since I got a channel doing it, I actually do talk about sports. I just talked about the boxing match, fucking Bud Crawford beating the dog shit out of Errol Spence, which I did not predict. I predicted Errol Spence, so I look like kind of a fool on that one. So I got a couple videos talking about that and talking about boxing this week because it's been a crazy week if you pay attention to boxing. With Inoue, Japanese fighter at 122 pounds, beating the dog shit out of what was supposed to be an even match in Stephen Fulton. So some dominant performances in boxing. I have coverage on that, and I talk about other stuff on my main channel and do gaming. So please sub to both of my channels, both Vigilante Wings and with nothing at the end, and then Vigilante Wins and Vengeance, all separate words. All right, because I see we're going to wrap, so I've already done my spiel, so to consider this my spiel for
I appreciate that.
later.
Yeah.
That's a good spiel. That's a great spiel.
Shit.
You're
all right,
a master at it, bitch.
Hey, Nubon, what about you, brother?
Nothing.
All right.
Between work and everything else, I don't have much going on. Still throwing parts at a car.
I understand. What about you, Baron?
Besides, of course, doing Pop Talk on Sundays and Wednesday, and of course here with the Primetime Kings, a live stream. Been talking over, getting some plans to actually do some live streaming of ourselves. Hopefully, I can announce that. I just have to sit with my cohorts and what we're going to be doing on that. So things are starting to gear up. I'm actually starting to feel that burn to go out there and start getting some of my own content out.
That's good. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Shit. And when you get it going, hit me up, man, so I can jump on with you.
You got it, man. Yeah, definitely. I'm more than happy
it,
to. All of you guys are more than welcome to come by anytime if you want. So, I like my compadres, mi amigos.
Oh, thank you, man.
So that's it. Of course, popping up here and there. I might be on a gaming stream with somebody here and there. It all depends. We're doing Myth Force and we're doing Warhammer Vermintide 2. So that should be this week and next week, and who knows what else in between.
Right.
And Meth Sports, by the way, is a demo that they have coming up, but damn, that game's fun.
All right. Well, me, I'll just be dropping video here and there, and hopefully getting back to live streaming. Been working quite a bit, so I know I haven't been doing videos and doing live streams like I normally would. But when it comes to trying to keep a roof over your head, you got to do what you got to do, and sometimes that takes you away from some of the things that you enjoy doing. And I still got to work out the balance, but I'm working through it. I'm trying to figure it out. So, but with that, just wanted to tell everybody, please subscribe to Vigilante Williamson and Vigilante Williamson's Vengeance. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Baron Norman Tag, New Bomb Turk. And, if you're here, then, more likely you're already subscribed. And I'm thankful for that. So thank you, everybody, for being here. We love you guys. We're going to go ahead and take off. But you guys have a great rest of your evening or afternoon. Be safe. Enjoy your week. We love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, y'all.